There are some secrets to making mail effective. Mail can still work, it's just harder with this generation of kids that you're dealing with. Most of you are sending out the letters that you pack as much as you can into that 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper as possible. That's not the way that you want to do it. There's 3 things I think that you would want to try and do. You need to create a couple of things with your letters. And as you look at this list that I'm going to present, think back to the letters that you send out and ask yourself, am I doing that? Do my letters do that? The first one is you need to create confusion. And I'll explain why in a second. You also need to create curiosity. And lastly, you want to create a call to action. Those 3 things are essential in your letters that go out to athletes. Here's what I mean by that. Talk about confusion. Why in the world would you want to confuse somebody you're sending a letter to? Why wouldn't you want to just explain everything in the recruiting letter that you send out all at once, all up front? Mainly because they're not reading it. You know that, and yet you still send out the letters. When I go to a campus, I usually, let me see the letters you're sending out. Well, we send these out, but we know they don't work very well. And I scratch my head and say, well, why are you still sending them out? You need to create confusion. Don't answer all the questions up front in your letter. Shorter letters are what you want, which is probably the toughest thing for a coach to do, is to take an existing recruiting letter and wipe out 80% of it. Because there's a lot of good stuff in there. You want to tell them about the U.S. News and World Report ranking. You want to tell them about the graduation rate and all the other 7 bullet points that you love to list in that letter. The trouble is they're not reading it. Yet, there's a time and a place that they'll read it, but it's not happening right now. This is the get to know you stage. You don't even know them. They don't care about your academic ratings yet. They don't really even care what kind of arena you play in. They don't care about how long you've been the coach, because they're not there. It's not part of their world yet. You're not part of their world yet. So you need to create that relationship, and you do that by leaving little crumbs that they will come in and follow and come closer to you. Shorter letters are the way to do that, coaches. Most of your letters are good. It has good stuff in it. But it could be one of your letters could probably be 6 or 7 recruiting letters that are shorter. So think about that. Go back and look at your letters. Find ways to shorten it. And the best way to do it is to take a letter and with a red pen cross out everything that athlete does not need to know right at that moment to take the next step with you. You'll be amazed how short your letters get.